Just wanted to let you know that I love my drawings and paintings. What up friends, Liron here. Thank you for joining me in another video. Today I want to talk about my artwork and the fact that I love it. So I've been getting some funny feedback recently. I don't want to name any specific comments or something like this. I just want to talk about the large trend. People seem to think that I'm maybe over judgmental of my art, or that I'm not accepting it, or that I'm even downplaying how good it is for various reasons, which I can understand them. I'm being very critical of my art, and I like to analyze everything that I can do. Now, I want to break this video into several points, or sort of key points or talking points, like you say. So I want to talk about the concept of the artist sees the art way differently than the viewer. That's the first concept I want to talk about. And as someone who slowly sees a painting coming together and also has a vision, as artists we tend to compare our vision to what we see on paper. And given these two things can never be the same, usually, for the most part. Most of the time, these two things won't be identical, because things that happen in our brain are different than what actually happens on paper. So you may get a result that's different from what you want. You may have imagined that the greenery here, like in this painting I finished a while ago, is gonna be a little different. You may have imagined this to be a little smoother, these weird gradations here. And you don't have control over that always, okay? Sometimes you do. Your skill set, your skill level does affect these kinds of things. But you can't control 100% of what happens, and it's a good thing, because that way, if it was that way, everything would be boring. But my point is that I see my work completely differently than the viewer, and so I see things that other people don't see. And this leads to me saying, this is not as I planned it. This little section here turned out a little differently. I wanted this to be darker. It's being more critical of your own work, and it's very natural. Everyone goes through this, okay? So this is just one thing. Now, I want to make the next talking point I want to talk about, after we established that me as an artist, I see my work differently. The next thing I want to talk about is the whole idea of logical versus emotional, okay? And I mentioned this in a few comments in the past. On a very logical level, I do criticize my paintings quite a bit. I judge them, so to say. I can see what I could improve. Maybe I'm not really pleased with many different variables. That's on a logical level. But on an emotional level, I have to admit, I love my paintings, I love my work, and thus the title of this video. And I don't want people to get a wrong impression that I don't, because it's utterly ridiculous, especially if I did my best. When I do my best and I really feel it, I know that I put everything I've got into the painting, and I was fully focused, or at least as focused as I could have been at that specific time, because I'm a human being, a lot of things run through my mind. So if I was as focused as I could have been at that given moment, what do I have to judge myself on, you know? So I really love my paintings. For example, this one, again, the same one I showed you. I really hoped for all of I just like to put my face next to them like this. I really like for the initial wash to be a little more well blended in, a little more even, a little more beautiful to look at. These weird, awkward trees seem to just hang in there somehow. But I did put my best effort into this one. There's tons of new gamboge here, by the way. I hope I don't get it on my beard. So I put my best into this one. And I was able to pull it through together, and it looks wonderful. I love that one. You know what? Screw anyone who doesn't like it. I like this one. I like the way the shadows turned out here on the side. I love all of that. And so it's perfectly okay to be critical of it and say, wow, I could have done this better, that better. The drawing itself is not that accurate. The rough paper made it harder for me to get accurate straight lines, but I still love it. Look at it. It looks fantastic. But I'm still allowed to say, man, I messed up here, I messed up there. And so on a very logical level, I do judge, I do critique, I do criticize. And on a very emotional level, I love it. And I actually apply the same concept when I critique other people's paintings or students of mine or anything like that. On a very logical level, they understand that they have a few things to work on, they have things they want to improve. But on an emotional level, I'll be the most encouraging person ever, and I'll tell them, look, good effort, you put in the good effort, that's good enough. This is the best you can do at this point. Way to go, good job. And so this is something that's important to make, this differentiation. Now, when someone is triggered, quote unquote, by seeing that I'm maybe over judgmental of my work, over criticizing it, apologizing for not doing a good job, it actually points to what I would encourage you to do, and I'm really not trying to take like the moral high ground or whatever you want to call it. When you feel that way, what I urge you to do, because this is something I do myself, is think about it for a moment. Before saying it, you should do this, you should do that. Really think about it for a moment and ask yourself, why do I feel the need to make someone else change what they're doing? Because I did get a few comments saying it would be better if you just don't overjudge your work, or it could be better if you just say that you don't have to apologize all the time. But, really think about it. Why do you feel the need to tell me to change what I do? I mean, I do my videos, as someone mentioned in a comment a while ago, unscripted. I don't have a script. I just have some talking points or some ideas in mind of things I want to share. I don't script any of this. I don't have notes or anything. The only thing I script is the paint show because it's so information packed. But this, I don't know, I'm just talking. I'm just a guy talking. I do have a script if I want to teach something, but just talking, even the narrated videos, I don't even think about what, I'm just going with the flow, and then I find myself not narrating the actual painting, and I'm like, okay, back to the painting, because I'm still trying to teach some concepts and some ideas. So I don't script this, I just go with what I feel. Is there any other way that's better to do this? Like, would it be better if I suppress what I feel towards my painting and not say it? It'll be so weird. I'll be stifled. I wouldn't know what to say. It's ridiculous. So what I would encourage you to do, and again, this is something I do myself, is really sit with what I have to say and think about it and say, do I really want to change the way this person does what they do? Or is it pointing at something about me? That maybe I'm too judgmental of myself and I can't make the separation between logical criticism and emotional love and acceptance towards my art. You see the point I'm trying to make here? And I'm definitely not trying to bash anyone, and I actually take all this feedback seriously. I actually think about it. I'm really trying to, this is why I said I'm practicing that same thing I'm suggesting you do. Because I'm really, whenever I get a feedback that could be perceived as negative, I'm really trying to understand where it comes from. Man, maybe I have something to improve, and then I take it in, I try and understand what I can learn from it, and then I move on. And if I would have been too judgmental about my art or these videos or any type of creation, like this video is a creation as well, if I would have been critical towards these, I would never get anything done. Some friends sometimes consult with me over things, and they say, do you think this cover for my website, cover image is good? Do you think this is worth? Like all sorts of minutiae, that's how you say it, like some irrelevant, not important things that I tell them. If I would get so hung up on each and every little detail and try to be perfectionist about it, I would never get to where I am now. Releasing one video a day, let me tell you one thing, it forces you to reduce all of your perfectionism and judgmentalism or all of that stuff. Because if I would now scrutinize every word I say, nothing would happen. So this is my great gift to you. Just sharing the way I feel at that very same day, not trying to be something that I'm not trying to do something that I can't. Also, it's about admitting what you can do. A lot of people ask me, do you teach watercolor? And not yet, not just yet. I feel like there's quite a few things I want to learn before that. Sketching and drawing, I'm super confident in that, and urban sketching. And I will give, of course, advice about watercolor, things like this, but I know my boundaries. And so I don't know even how we got to talk about this, but whatever. You see, it's just free flow. And the good thing about it is that this video, I don't even need to edit it. I'm not going to cut out anything. I'm just going to put it as it is, add intro, add outro, some music, and that's done. That's what I love so much about these quick videos. I just let myself talk freely. So in any case, my point is this. I'm very critical of my work on a logical level. On an emotional level, however, I do practice a lot of acceptance and love, and I actually love the results. And I encourage you to try and practice or exercise that very same thing. because on a logical level, this is what pushes you to improve. I know that I have this XYZ things to correct, and I work towards mastering them. And this is what sparks my growth as a watercolor artist, as an artist, as a human being in general. But on an emotional level, lots of acceptance going on in here. I really love my work and all of that. And plus, I'm not going to change really the way I communicate it, because that's what I see people enjoy the most. They want the real, they don't want the fake, they don't want the scripted. So this is what I'll keep on doing, and I just want to wrap this up by saying thank you to all of you. No matter what type of comment you leave, if it's positive or negative, don't be afraid to say your opinion, to speak your mind. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate the feedback, and I think specifically with comments that make me feel uncomfortable and make me rethink what I'm doing, these are the best. Because from these I learn the most, and this kind of videos is the type of videos that are born out of these kinds of comments. Okay, and so I'm really thankful. I'm not really hating on anyone. It's kind of hard to hate on anyone. I really take all the feedback I get into consideration and try to learn from it and try to accept other people's viewpoints, because they're not changing. You know, you can't really change someone's opinion. They kind of have to go through their own process. Or they don't, and they just stick to their opinion their entire life. So this is the exact same acceptance I'm talking about, by the way. So I think this is a good point to wrap this video up. I have no idea how long I've been talking, but this is just some of the ideas I wanted to communicate to you, unscripted. And this is it. If you enjoyed this little rant or rambling, if you enjoy my other videos, don't forget to subscribe if you still haven't to this channel, and I really would appreciate it. And this is something I never really say. If you know someone that will benefit from these videos, share it with them. I'll be so thankful. I'm really trying to grow this channel to be huge, or as big as possible. And yeah, this is it. Also Instagram and Snapchat, I see a lot of people following me there, and I really appreciate it. There's so much good stuff going on there. You can see more of the processes and the stories that I publish, so it's really just a fun platform to communicate in. And honestly, this is where I answer most of the messages I get. This and email. On YouTube, it's more for commenting, but if you really want to ask a question or something like this, Instagram is the best place for that. So anyway, yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up now. Thank you so much for watching this video all the way to the end. I really, really appreciate it, and I will see you again in another video tomorrow.